Krakow. I came out here for a milk bar crawl of the city, and after gorging myself on kasha, borscht, and pierogi ruskie, I did what I do just about anywhere I travel. I went for a run. In the words of a famous plumber, let's go. I've run around Krakow before, but just a loop outside of the old town. This time, I was looking forward to really stretching my legs, getting outside of the city, and exploring this big blob of green I found on Google Maps. Of course, they don't actually call it the big blob of green here. It's Bielańsko-Tyniecki Landscape Park. And on a balmy Krakowian evening, I head out of the medieval Jewish quarter of Kazimierz, where I'm staying, out along the Vistula River, and into my happy place, the woods. So I forgot that I have a work call that basically starts right when this run should end. And no, it's okay. It's a hard workout. I'll run fast. But apparently I plotted myself on a route for mountain bikes. So very hilly. My heart's beating out of my chest. Ooh. So I did not intend to get myself on this mountain bike course down here. And I feel like I keep looking back like the velociraptors chasing me, because they're really coming down these slopes, bombing down, if you will. And I don't want to get that mountain bike equivalent of a 6-inch claw to my spine. Fortunately, there was no metaphorical spinal stabbing by the mountain bike equivalent of a dinosaur that's been extinct for 66 million years. Now there's a sentence I doubt's ever been spoken before. And I peacefully wrap up my run under the evening sun with plans to dive deeper into the forest tomorrow.
Back out into forest, I guess you could say, of Krakow, running off all those milk bar eats. I'm back on mountain bike paths. It's really hard to tell which ones runners, hikers, whatever I'm meant to be on versus just mountain bikes. So again, I feel like I'm in Jurassic Park listening for the animals. All right, well, I just ran by another runner, so that seems like a reasonably good sign that this trail is okay.
About 9 kilometers in, I come across this mound built in honor of Józef Piłsudski, owner of the stashiest mustache that's ever mustached, and seen here modeling for whatever OnlyFans was back then. It was a much more modest time, but the casual head tilt, the cigarette, those let me stuff that pierogi eyes, he knows what he's doing. Oh, and he was a Polish statesman and military leader who played a significant role in Poland regaining its independence after the First World War. Many consider him one of the founders of modern Poland. Kinda cool fact. The construction involved transporting soil from various battlefields where Polish soldiers fought during World War I, as well as from different regions of Poland, to solidify its place as a national symbol. So I guess if you want to honor me after I kick the bucket, start collecting dirt, people. One of the many things I love about living in Europe is how accessible forests like these are to large cities. In Krakow, I'm able to run to a relatively untouched slice of green with ease. No car or even public transit necessary. Just my feet, a little Polish home cooking in my tank, and a questionable level of faith that my watch won't send me running off a cliff.
Some real ankle busters around here. Do. I could have just gone around. I feel a little dumb now. So I keep glancing at my watch because I have officially gone off my trail. And somehow I'm starting to get hungry, even though I had a Cliff Bar, not to mention all of those milk bars under my belt. So I don't want to go too much longer than my planned workout for today. That said, this run has been stupidly stunning, as I'm wont to say, so I could spend a lot of time out here.
Eventually I pop back into the old town to end a nearly 20-kilometer run around the forest. I'll have my beer now, please and thank you. Morning, I decided to get up early and do a little jaunt around Kazimierz before hopping on the train back to Berlin. And maybe I should have said up front, this is actually my third time in Krakow. The first time was before the pandemic. I was on a little heritage trip, Jewish heritage trip, in northeastern Slovakia, which is kind of close in the grand scheme of things, and decided to come up to Krakow. And I actually stayed in this neighborhood because I knew it was like the historic medieval Jewish neighborhood. Thought it kind of fit the theme. Then the second time was a couple years back. I covered the Jewish cultural festival that's here, and that was a really good time, interesting experience. And this time was the first time I came and didn't do anything explicitly Jewish, although I did stay in this neighborhood again. But I did see some graffiti here this morning a couple of times that said "Wo sind die Jiden?" That kind of meant a little bit more to me than I expected. Been able to understand that because when I first came here, I knew bupkis about Yiddish, to use Yiddish to explain my lack of knowledge about Yiddish. So obviously the reason that somebody would write "Wo sind die Jiden?" Where are the Jews? Isn't nice, given the history. But the simple fact that I could easily read and understand it, surprisingly, meant a lot to me and was a nice little way to end the trip.